And to help us explore the current terror threat in Africa, I'm now joined by Matthew Durington, who works at the Department of Sociology at Towson University. And we really appreciate you coming into our studio tonight and joining our broadcast to explore this problem. How are the Islamic extremists growing and becoming more established in Africa without huge money behind them?
Sure. I think that's a popular misunderstanding, is that these groups, particularly operating in the Horn of Africa and Northern Africa as well, are not resource heavy. The Westgate Mall terrorist act was committed by 4 individuals.
It's unbelievable. 4
arms.
people, yeah.
Right, and that's part of the strategy to be able to pull off something to that effect. They're also operating with the remnants of past conflicts. So it's not difficult to get arms, but you combine that with drug smuggling, trafficking, piracy. There's enough resources for small-scale groups to do these type of terrorist acts. Okay,
so in 2013 and 14, we saw terrorists act in Kenya, Somalia, Nigeria, Tunisia, Mali, other countries, of course, notably Al-Shabaab here in Kenya. This attack, which killed 67 people today, the anniversary, Boko Haram in Nigeria. Why is there not more focus on these groups?
Besides those countries, estimated about 22 countries on the continent now. So that's an alarming amount of countries for these type of activities to be in. But there's been a lack of that Western target. The attention that's come from the Islamic State, the tragic beheading of 2 Western journalists, there's attention on the ground, and the Westgate terror incident was a very Western target in a very cosmopolitan city. Besides the outrage of the girls being kidnapped in Nigeria, there hasn't been that specific Western target, I believe, or perhaps even a global target. And unfortunately, many people write these incidents off as typical events on the continent that is seen often in terms of violent conflict and other types of maladies and problems.
Well, are many of these countries easy targets? I'm not talking about the high-profile ones, obviously, in Nigeria with Boko Haram, but the other ones, because they just don't have the armies that are trained. They don't have the money. The governments are sort of in a state of flux.
State of flux would be putting it kindly. You have a political and social vacuum. Even in a country like Nigeria or in Kenya, considered, for lack of a better word, first world countries or developed countries, you have other sites that have immense porous borders where individuals are able to go back and forth and traverse those quite easily.
Right.
You combine that with the lack of resources and perhaps even a lack of training, but a target and a conflict that's constantly wavering and moving with historic fissures and historic ethnic conflict that get mapped onto those things, and you can see why it could get quite complicated.
All right. Well, are they recruiting people from other groups, say Al-Qaeda?
There's definitely links. In fact, when the leader of the Al-Shabaab in Somalia was killed by the U.S. drone strike, the thought was that might perhaps create some tensions within the group. Very quickly elected a new leader of that group and affirmed their links to Al-Qaeda. So there's still those things in play. Plus, you combine that with a very savvy use and increasing use of social media. What we're seeing with the Islamic State now, that's also happening with these groups in Africa, and they've become a huge draw for jihadists and others wanting to join that conflict.
Matthew Durington, thank you so much from Towson University. We really appreciate you coming in and sharing your thoughts and your time with us.
Thank you.